story to tell. Naval power is in the Asia-Pacific region. In the top 5 of the world's leading naval powers, this region has 3. Naval might was the key to many nations asserting their status as great power for centuries. And today, the United States. The Navy can also be a defensive force, formerly the Soviet Union, and today, China, Japan, and Korea also develop naval forces aimed at territorial protection rather than attack. The balance of power at sea also reflects the development of these great defense industries to the rest of the world. Topping the list is there the US Navy, with the largest fleet of warships in the world, and continues to maintain a high combat readiness thanks to advanced weapons compared to other Western powers such as Great Britain and Germany. The most iconic weapon in the US Navy's fleet are the carrier strike groups. The US carrier USS Gerald Ford is currently the only supercarrier in the world with an integrated electromagnetic aircraft launch system. The US Navy currently deploys 11 supercarriers and 9 amphibious assault ships, warships over 40,000 tons that can act as mid-sized carriers, deploying up to 20 fighters like the F-35B and Harrier II. The US destroyer fleet is increasingly being challenged by competitors, such as South Korea's Sejong and China's TAF O-55. The American destroyers are supported by the Ticonderoga-class cruisers, old but the world's most heavily armed surface ships at the West at sea. The US submarine fleet is also extremely powerful, with nearly 70 active boats, or equipped with nuclear power, including 18 Ohio-class submarines, specifically designed for strategic nuclear warfare. Second place is the Chinese Navy. It is the fastest growing navy in the history of the world. It is predicted that by 2030, China will be a rival on par with the US at sea. Unlike the US, however, China concentrates the majority of its forces on a single front in the Northeast Asia. China's fleet currently has more than 50 destroyers, the most powerful being the TAF O-55 destroyer class, considered the most capable surface warships today. While China's surface warfare fleet is a standout, its fleet of submarines and aircraft carriers is currently underestimated. However, China is actively building more aircraft carriers, and its ambition is to have 7 by 2025. Third is Russia. The fact that the power of Russia's surface fleet has ceased to be a great power since the fall of the Soviet Union. The loss of shipyards in Ukraine made the Russian Navy only able to produce frigates, and today Russia's modest fleet consists of only 13 destroyers and 9 cruisers. Russia's early aircraft carrier is Admiral Kuznetsov, with a difficult history. Despite being equipped with formidable fighters, the ship has not yet scheduled to return to the ocean. The Russian Navy is expected to switch to a new type of supercarrier, which will be produced in the future. Old warships have been refitted by the Russian Navy with modern missiles to enhance combat capabilities. The Caliber and P-800 cruise missiles are considered one of the most powerful in the world. There is also a supersonic cruise missile Zircon, which has a speed of about Mach 10 with long range and high accuracy. The Russian Navy is also equipped with modern aircraft such as the MiG-31 and Tu-22M, capable of deploying supersonic ballistic missiles known as carrier destroyers. The most powerful of the Russian Navy is its submarine fleet, with 50 ballistic missile submarines, including 17 nuclear attack submarines and 33 diesel attack submarines. They are a key to making up for the shortcomings of the Russian surface fleet until a time when the country's economy may allow the construction of new surface ships. Fourth is Japan. It has the third largest destroyer fleet in the world, larger than its neighbor China, and surpasses all of Europe's destroyer fleets combined. The Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force is by far the country's most powerful armed force. Japan has the world's third largest disguised aircraft carrier fleet with 4 ships, consisting of 2 classes of 19,000 tons and 27,000 tons, designed primarily for anti-submarine warfare. The Izuma-class ships are capable of deploying US F-35B fighter jets. Like China, the Japanese Navy was developed primarily for defense, and its lack of aircraft carriers could be compensated for by its long-range fighters. In addition, Japan has also invested heavily in short-range diesel-powered submarines to defend the country. Finally, the Korean Navy. It has a fleet of 12 modern destroyers and a planned carrier program. The 2 Dokdo-class landing platform helicopter amphibious assault ships are modest in size, but extremely efficient and sophisticated, capable of contributing to anti-submarine efforts. The better-armed Sejong the Great class destroyers, compared to the American Alibert class, considered one of the leading destroyers in the world. The Korean Navy is one of the most modern in the world, with military shipbuilding capabilities superior to all European powers. In addition, Korea has 16 attack submarines, considered the most formidable in the world, while its frigates and corvettes are also world-class. Whether the South Korean Navy continues to expand or not will depend on whether tensions with North Korea ease. In addition, if Japan buys more fighters, South Korea will have to make similar investments to maintain parity with its long-time rival in the region. My video about which Navy force will dominate the ocean in the next decades ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.